Yeah, forever. Burn them up, miss. Brothers, uh. This setup part ain't nothing basic. I brew for really, I don't fake it. Correct your bro, he say you hate it. But this rebuke, you can't escape it. This setup part ain't nothing basic. I brew for really, I don't fake it. Correct your bro, he say you hate it. But this rebuke, you can't escape it. You gotta face it. Free food, nothing cheap. Just too expensive to charge. Rule walk in the recipe. Ask for mine super large. Employees got a card. Everybody got a roll. I'll be who will make it start. New rule, keep it on the road. This that fresh out the stove. Worth way more than gold. On the script standing bold. Set apart is the mold. Yeah, it's power in the name. Got the house rearranged. Just do better, why complain? Any second it could change. Small thing to your who. Raise you up all of a sudden. Homie, please don't disturb. Need no interruptions. Concentrating on my journey. Keep a righteous attorney. Wouldn't lie if I paid. Violators getting blazed. Pure love is correction. But everybody want affection. That's why the truth go unrecognized. Cause simple minds can't detect it. Only see y'all perspective. 7 times getting festive. No cares for the world. Nothing here is impressive. Basic. I brew for really, I don't fake it. Correct your bro, he say you hate it. But this rebuke, you can't escape it. This setup part ain't nothing basic. I brew for really, I don't fake it. Correct your bro, he say you hate it. But this rebuke, you can't escape it. You gotta face it.
Shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom. It's Michael Israel here. You're watching Spiritual Combat. And as you could tell by the title of the lesson, it's going to be a good one. It's going to, if you've been tuning into the lives, and tuning into the some of the recent shows, we've been talking. We've been in a season of discussing. I slept good last night, but we've been in a season of discussing community living. And just really the need for it. And when you strip off when you take off the Christian spectacles, the Christian glasses that we read the Bible through, we actually see it's saying something totally different. Very practical, something that which you read all through the book from Genesis to Revelations is just a very plain, straightforward solution to a lot of issues we struggle with today as a people. And what it does, it's completely opposite what we've been emotionally programmed to function under. Even as you as you go into this deeper, you begin to see that it's actually a completely different way of thinking, really, like a mindset. of how you approach things and deal with things. And and I got something to show y'all, man. That's gonna, it's an email I got this morning, and it just confirms all this stuff. It shows you that people are off, and just how they don't even see it, to the point where they will type up an email and accuse you and bear false witness and put it in writing. And while they're bearing false witness against you, they're also out of order and sinning. So we're going to show you an email, and it's just funny, dude. It's like, is this person serious, or is this like a comedy joke? Hey, Shalom Bezalel, good to see you in there, fam. Shalom, Ak. Who else we got? Michelle, shalom. See you over there. And I see y'all steadily coming in there on YouTube. Shalom, Elder Elia. Shalom, good to see you on there. Solomon bin Yah. Shalom. Denatis, Miss Rice. That's your name. Okay. Sherman Atkins, shalom. That's my Hakeem. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, you called me right when I was getting ready to hit the live button on there. I'll hit you back later though. I know I've been meaning to call you. I've been kind of busy. Tovaya, shalom. Michael Baltimore, shalom. Sister Shirley, shalom. Shalom. Mark Yah, shalom. Up there in Flint. Man, somebody made a good point. I was watching something yesterday, and somebody was talking. They were saying how up in Flint, it costs a certain amount to fix that whole thing. And they said Floyd Mayweather's watch costs more than that. But yet that dude is so Babylonian brainwashed, he won't even take a watch to fix all his people's water while his people get poisoned. It's just a testament of how jacked up we are mentally. But that's kind of the topic we're gonna get into today. Adishya Appraise Yah. Okay. Shalom. Good to see you in there, sis. Brandon, good to see you in there, man. Shalom. So that's what we're gonna talk about is how emotional folks are. And let me see if I can bring this up for y'all so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I guess, okay, y'all bear with me. We're going to pull this thing up. It's loading. Okay. All right. But what I'm going to do, I'm just not going to... So here go the bearing false witness again. Okay, it says, all right, it says, hello again, brother Michael. This will be my last email to you. Yes. Be like Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. It said, last email to me. You are promoting Pastor Dow straightway. What a deception. The Edomites, Yah is coming to save us from our enemies as the same Edomites you and Pastor Dow back up. The white woman from Green Bay. And they're saying all this stuff. And then they had the nerve to say, F me. And I feel sorry for your wife. You guys are still pagan. But wait, you're on here cursing me out. And she married. She said, I know that you Israelite men are above us women, but but I put Yah and his son above you deceivers. Okay. Well, you're on here cursing me out. And you're saying a bunch of, she bearing false witness. I got it in writing. It's like, man, some of these folks, man, they got to be careful, dude. But you can't make this stuff up, man. It's like, and like I said, I don't entertain clowns anymore. I don't even let the clowns entertain me. I just send them to the circus. I direct them towards the circus. So I have some circus ministries I could recommend for this sister. She should go to GMS. Go to Great Millstone. Y'all go over there, chop it up with them. That they share, you know. So, all right. So yeah, like Sister Emerson Ford said there, you gotta choose to submit in obedience to the book, not your emotions, and that ties right into to the title of the show I put here is because I thought to put worshiping man versus the Bible and all this stuff. At the end of the day, it comes down to self-worship. Okay? All right. I gotta mute my phone and hit do not disturb. Just bear with me. Make sure I don't get any distractions here. Okay. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it comes down to it's self-worship. The reason why a lot of people are attracted to certain Hebrew ministries out there is because there's a strong degree of self-worship. If you're over here, if you're watching Spiritual Combat, particularly, you know, I have shows, I have guests on, but Spiritual Combat Saturday morning, you're gonna be forced to change. Like you're gonna be pushed. You're gonna be forced to challenge things that are popping up in your head. You're gonna be forced. That's the whole. If you want to talk about the rubber meeting the road, it's learning to be aware and see the thoughts pop and interpret the thoughts popping up in your head, and not just going along with them. Like whoever sent that email, the spirit they were in. Let's say what they typed in there was factual. Do you type F you and your wife is cursed and all whatever the hell she typed? Because I mean, Koya has access to that email account. Matter of fact, Koya was the one I heard her over there laughing, and she was like, "Look at this, baby." I was like, "I ain't gonna read all that crap." I was like, "I ain't got time for all that." You know what I'm saying? So, but again, these people that like I know what that is on a spiritual level. That's somebody who something impulsively pops in their mind, and it goes straight from being in their mind to their fingers moving. And then you have people who are on a higher level of spiritual development that the book calls us to. All through the book, it calls you to don't be led by your those impulses. Because those impulses that pop up in your head have been even scientifically proven to be able to come from sources from what they say another dimension. We know the spirit world. Like we've scientifically proven that some of the stuff that pops in your big stupid head is not you. And like I said, you got people who are they would actually take the time to type all that. Like, and that was a lot of typing. Like, I can't type. For me to type something that long, I'd just be like, hey, baby, can you type something up for me? You know. So they were in there. And look, we going to do the play-by-play. Dude, punctuation on point. They got the semicolons. Like, I am not that good. Like, she said, hello again, Brother Michael. Put a comma there. She said, this will be my last email. Explanation point. Like, I don't do all that. Like, I'm terrible. Parentheses and all that. And said F you and did everything grammatically correctly, spelled right. They ran a spell check. Like, you see what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm pointing this out is, like, you understand, like, these people are in covenant with demons. They're like, cool. They're not wrestling against it. They're not saying, well, I feel this way, but maybe I should pray about it or something. Nah. The demon tells them what to do, and they do it. The thought pops in their head, and they do it. And this is the problem with our people. There's no impulse action filter. And the Bible, which I'm gonna pull some verses up, backing up what I'm saying. Let's see. Okay, difficult. We got some good verses on this, but there it is. I think I got something. I got a bunch of verses I got put in here. I just got this one, but let's see. Wherever thou be. It says, learn before thou speak, and use physic or ever thou be sick. Okay. I'm gonna pull this verse up because it's in the Old English. And I got a whole bunch more verses, but I think I'm gonna have to pull them up. Excuse me, in here. But we're gonna go over some verses, and then we're gonna put our finger right on some big issues as far as not being yeah, I got a whole bunch of verses in here on that topic. So and this is at the core of the issue, because once you learn to put your emotions through a biblical filter, you're going to filter out the demons, and you're going to stop being led by demons, and you're going to stop getting the results you get in your life. Can you imagine the woman who sent me that email? Can you imagine her husband, like what he has to put up with? Could you imagine, like, if she took the time to type up an email and curse me out and my wife or whatever? Can you imagine what her marriage is like? Okay. So I'm gonna tell you, I can almost guarantee it's very bad. Okay. I could guarantee it's a pretty bad situation up in her household. Okay. All right. So let's see. So let me. I'm just finding my scripture here. Okay. All right. Yeah, I have a whole section on this. Oh, here it is. Boom, I got it. All right. Okay, so the first one I wanted to bring out, and I'll put it up here for y'all, is gonna, of course, be 2 Corinthians, okay, where we talk about casting down thoughts. So we're gonna go there. I'm just finding a Bible to bring it up on the screen. All right, this is a pretty good one here. All right, so we're going to go to 2 Corinthians. I'm going to put it on the screen for y'all.
Chapter 2.
All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, actually. So 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, okay? So I'm going to just put that up here for y'all under self-control. Because that is, and it's like, okay. And see, and my thing is, a lot of people, and I'll put it up here on the screen, and I know it's not formatted the best way, but I'll work on that later. But a lot of people, I don't get caught up in, I don't be banging on doctrine too hard, because doctrine really don't matter if your mind ain't right. You know, we got to start with our minds, okay? So if you ain't got your mind right, you like a fort with no walls, you know, a city with no walls. You gotta build some walls up in your mind, in your spirit, in your heart, whatever you want to call that thing. You got to build something up so that you're not impulsive, so that you're not typing emails up that are you typing up emails in there and all the punctuation and everything's correct. So you took time to type this up. So this wasn't like some thought that just slid in there real fast and all that. But no, you are in covenant. Like that, whoever that lady is who typed that is in covenant with that thing. And then on top of that, she's clearly out of order. She's like, yeah, I got a husband, but yet you sending me an email cursing another man out. Go through your damn husband. So man, it's just so funny how off these people are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy I got it in writing. You know what I'm saying? It's in writing right here. And that's what I'm going to do. I like it, man. It just shows how demonically led people, you know, and with an FU at the end, I'm with it. It's good. It backs up the lesson I was already working on. See what I'm saying? So let's get into the script and really get the meat off the bone on this thing. Self-control. It says 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So, like I said earlier, one of the primary thing, the first step, what we need to do, and again, when you begin to read all through the book, when you read Torah, particularly when you read Proverbs, because Proverbs is a microscopic, nanoscopic breakdown of the first and second commandment, loving the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and loving your brother. Okay, it breaks that down into actionable steps. Okay, and that's why as I move through the Hebrew community, I see a lack of this. I see people with a lot of biblical knowledge and just a bunch of stuff that is like, man, I'm thinking of all the stuff that's out there. Stuff that's really pointless. It's external cup stuff. They just repeating the past, telling you all types of ear tickling stuff, showing off their biblical knowledge. I don't know half these scriptures all these people be coming out with all these complicated deep lessons, and you like, whoo, and you can't resist a demon on you. I had somebody come in my live earlier this week, typing in all caps, well, I ain't listening to you no more. So it's like, why you even gotta take the time to type that when this is social media? Listen, I keep saying this. If you understand social media is a competition for attention. So it's like, I understand that if you don't like if you don't like what I'm saying, it's almost less than a click and you could be on to something else. Yeah, head on over there, But when people can't just, okay, they don't agree with what you say, boom, they move on. Especially in this generation of communication is so simple. It's so simple to end communication, and it's so simple to start communication and to communicate to people. And what folks need to understand is everybody don't need to be besties. There's variety out there. It's like, man, I got a ton of like-minded people I could chop it up with. So I don't know. You could really get into that. But the thing is, bringing thoughts that don't line up with the word into captivity. When we talk about community building, I tell everybody, this is the first step. You got to see what's popping up in your head that you're totally unaware of. See, this is one of the heaviest parts of the whole book. This is like at the core. Trying to get people to believe that thoughts are actually popping up in your head that you're totally unaware of and that you're just reacting off of. Okay? When people realize that and believe that, then they can then they can begin to grow and make leaps and bounds in their growth. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, some people, you be hard pressed to get them to see that. They can't see it. And then you couple that with a lot of these Hebrew organizations, ministries, assemblies, whatever they call themselves, that are out here who they capitalize on that. They capitalize on women's emotionalism. They capitalize on men who don't want to be, who don't want to stand up and lead. They take advantage of it and they encourage that type of behavior. Well, you got a messy environment out there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But so casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. So what you see out here, like what I posted, is folks is in covenant with demons. And I ain't gonna say it's always demons, but a lot of times they have a mind contrary to what's in the word. And it could be they have a spirit of fear, so they don't want to go through the pain of getting their mind lined up with the word. All right, hold on. All right, let's see what else we got here. I got a good one. I got a good one. We're gonna read through something, and all right, y'all bear with me. Results. All right. So let's see what we got. We're gonna find this thing. All right. I think it might be in Ephesians. Let's see. Yeah, I got a real good one. But man, all right, where is that? Let's see. Oh, I know where it's at. Okay. Yeah, I got a lot of little breakdowns here. Here we go. So yeah, it's 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse. We're gonna start at verse 1. So it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves." Okay, so they're gonna be about themselves, and this is a lot of this gonna be what you're gonna see, what you see with a lot of these ministries out here. You know what I'm saying? They about themselves. They covetousness, so that they'll encourage, covetousness, like commercialism, like you need to have this, you need to get that, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, so unset apart, okay, without natural affection, so no, they really don't care about you, okay, truce breakers. Let's see what that is. Let's see what that is, okay? So, it says, one who violates a truce, covenant, or engagement, okay? So, they won't keep their word. And this is something I talk about all the time, is loyalty and transparency and honesty and saying what you mean and meaning what you say and doing what you say and all that stuff like that. You got a lot of ministries and stuff like that out there that they ain't about all that. False accusers, okay? I mean, do I really need to even get into that? Incontinent. So yeah, let's check that out. Let's see what that is, all right? We ain't just reading over these words. Let's see. All right, hold on. All right, so incontinent, not kind, such as how to using types. That ain't it. Having no or insufficient voluntary control. Oh, lacking self-restraint, uncontrolled. Okay? There you go. So overly emotional, you know what I'm saying? Something pop off and they just respond. But that goes right back to emotions versus the truth. A lot of people, you see, worship their emotions. Okay? So check this out, though. Let's go back to it, okay? It says, fierce, despisers of those that are good. All right, and what's good? those that are biblically aligned, those that are walking this word out in this deceptive, upside down, backwards society we're in. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of these ministries are just trying to get just enough truth, but not too much truth to where they're veering too far away from society, and from the societal norms that you're used to. So what they're doing is just doing little doctrinal, historic teachings that, really ain't gonna shake anything up in your life. Let you continue down the path of destruction you're on peacefully. You know what I'm saying? Not over here. Over here, you folk gonna be in their damn emotions. I don't give a damn. If I feel like to have somebody on the show and it's gonna shake everything up, but it's truth, we gonna do it. Okay? Alright. So it says traders, heady. What's heady? Huh? I think I know what it is, but let's make sure. Like I said, this meat off the bone ministries. So what does it mean to be heady? All right, well, we're gonna find it. Having a strong or exhilarating effect. Willful. Here's another definition. Willful, rash, heady opinions. Violent, impetuous, tending to intoxicate or make giddy or elate, heady wine. This thing. Okay. So, again, wow. I'm glad. See, I'm glad. I'm learning right now. I'm just telling y'all. So what heady is you know the way I did that lesson on deception a while back, and how majority of these ministries are operating out of that book of manipulation. It's the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene and The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. And those two books are, if you watch a ministry, you can see them functioning according to those laws with the way they're manipulating and seducing the people, particularly the women. And a lot of women will be uncovered, rebellious women who think they in the truth. Okay? But they really just being led astray. But, this verse we're reading is going to hit that. But so heady is that type of manipulation. The where it's exhilarating and manipulative and controlling. That's what the definition was. Yeah, Brother Mark, I thought it was headstrong, impulsive. That's what I thought it was too. But no, it's actually not. It's actually defined as more of a manipulative influence. And then when we read further down, I think it's going to confirm that when we read what it's getting ready to say in the coming verses, is going to confirm that definition. But yeah, I thought it was headstrong too. High-minded. So that means that folks ain't trying to hear nothing. They the end all be all, this, that, and the other. Nobody could teach me nothing, whatever. Which y'all just heard me just now. I'm learning. Book teaching me right now. So it's lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Okay? Having a form of godliness. So they doing all these messages, saying all this stuff, doing all this stuff, reading from the book, but lacking the power. So the stuff they getting out of the book, but it ain't bringing no change in nobody's life. Folks just still laden with sin. Folks still subject and enslaved by the Babylonian culture. That they just keep them there. Most I got you. he gonna be your deliverance. When the instruction manual for coming out of this, the instruction manual, the cultural instruction book is right there in front of us to form our culture, but they're just saying wolf tickets and wishful thinking. Okay, so it says lovers of pleasure more than lovers of stuff, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. And what's the power thereof? It's not running around getting sweaty, acting like listening to a bunch of music and getting emotional to music. I mean, I could show you a bunch of homosexuals in a Christian church running around screaming, yelling, getting excited and emotional about music. I can show you that any Sunday, any week. I can show you that. And that's not the power. The power is being able to differentiate between emotions and truth and bringing it into the obedience of the Most High Yah. That's where the power is at. But what does it say? It says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. It says, what? From such turn away. Okay? It says, from such turn away. Okay? It says, for this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins. Okay? And with silly women laden with sins. You see what I'm saying? Because and all y'all who came out of Christianity, we know that I'm going to define silly, even though I know y'all know what it is. Having or showing a lack of common sense or judgment. That's the definition of silly. Silly ain't some woman walking around. I be telling people, man, that's not silly. A fool ain't somebody walk around acting like an idiot. A fool is a stubborn person. A silly person is someone who has a lack of common sense or judgment. Okay? That's a silly person. And when you look at a lot of these ministries, almost any damn Christian ministry and a lot of the Hebrew ministries is centered around a lot of silly women. And I mean, if you see a whole bunch of women following the ministry, because I'm just telling you, spiritual combat is 80-90% men. We have in our Shabbat this weekend, and it's damn near all men gonna be out here. Maybe a couple women. You know, there's a couple husbands and wives, but it's predominantly dudes coming out to chop it up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say just because a ministry got a bunch of women following it, oh, you can automatically jump to that conclusion. But you just gotta look at the women and look at the message. And it said, for this is the sort that which creep into houses and lead captive silly women. So what you gotta do is watch their footwork. Listen to the doctrine. What the hell are they talking about? Is it a emotionalism doctrine or is it book? Is Muggs talking book? Is Muggs putting a finger on what's plaguing us as a nation? That can be at times painful to consider, but reality nonetheless. And then you'll know. You see what I'm saying? But it said they lead captive silly women laden. Oh, let me close this thing here so I can. Laden with sins, led away with diverse lust. Okay? So they get these women and they manipulate them, tell them some type of crazy doctrine, shake them down for money. And how are you gonna know if if you're dealing with something like that? This all you gotta do is listen to the message and see where it's gonna take you. Like in this many years, where is this gonna have me? You know, what type of understanding am I gonna have? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Shalom. Somebody out of the UK. Shalom to you, UK. So yeah. So you gotta. So it says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about. It's like, this is what I've been asking people. I said, under a lot of what's being taught out there from this book, where is it going to have you in a year? Where is it going to have you in a month? Where is it going to have you spiritually a year from now? Are they going to still be saying the same old lessons over and over again? Like, and that's why, like, when I look at Straightway, that's why I like Straightway, because I know following them a year from now, spiritually, I'm not going to be in the same place. Economically, I'm not going to be in the same place. I'm going to be somewhere better. You know, I know in a month from now, I'll be at a better place than I would years of listening to some of these other ministries out there. All they're doing is just saying stuff, making you passive. Oh, this is the works. You're doing the works when you watch me teach. See, that's the works. See, and when you give me your money, you're doing the works of the Most High Yah. And you're like, ooh. Now listen to this music and get sweaty and emotional. and send you home and hit your reset button, and then a week later you're back there again doing it again, and they pockets getting fat and you getting dumber. But that's the reality out here. And then when somebody comes along and they're telling you to take action and they're challenging you on some heavy levels in your life, you're like, oh, they wicked. They wicked. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, I'm trying to keep it 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Greetings from Holland. Okay, awesome. Smiley man. All the way from Holland. Holland in the house. All right. That's what's up. Yeah. So over here, Spiritual Combat, we bricklaying. We ain't talking about laying bricks. We ain't reading books about laying bricks. We putting the bricks down. Okay? We not philosophizing about the instructions and thinking of clever ways to read you the instructions and doing all this stuff. No, we actually reading the instruction and doing what it said. And they call you evil. Oh, you can't do those instructions. The Most High is going to come down and he's going to lay the bricks for you. And you're just going to stand there and watch. And when it says, faith without works is dead. When it says, you will know them by their fruits. You see what I'm saying? Actual bricklaying, all right? So let's see what we got here, all right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you, man, you know, the first sign of manipulation is confusion. Like these complicated, just, don't get me started. I ain't gonna go into it. Anyway, let's see. All right, appreciate you. Yare Beta Israel. I appreciate that. All praise to the Most High. Thank you. All right. So it says, ever learning and never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. So they always studying the instruction. You could sit up under some of these places for years and still be struggling, still be demonically possessed, still be financially oppressed, still be this, that, the other. And then you could get into a ministry, and within a month, you done change more than you done changed in 3 years. Because the word of the Most High Yah is what? It's quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, and it just slices right through all that BS that's out there. It really does. But I'm telling you, dude, you got folks with this spirit here, this 2 Timothy chapter 3 spirit on them, and folks is led astray, and they don't realize it. And what do they end up doing? Worshiping emotions rather than the truth. Well, we're encouraging you to worship the truth and go through the pain of getting your emotions aligned with it. And it's painful. Y'all seen Sister Koya was on the show last night. She was telling you, getting your emotions aligned to this truth. It ain't Disney World cupcakes and bubblegum. It is not cinematic. It could be painful, but it's a good pain. It's like the pain you get from lifting weights, as opposed to the arthritic joint pains you get from listening to these cupcakes and bubblegum doctrines these people have out here. All right. So look, it says, now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. So literally, it's calling these people wizards and magicians because they're manipulative. They cleverly doing these doctrines to keep your money coming in, to build numbers, whatever they're doing. You see what I'm saying? But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. Okay? You see what I'm saying? That's that 2 Timothy on that thing. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, at the end of the day, man, I'm really learning, like I said, the past month or two, man, I've really learned how to just look around, look at everybody, and look at fruit. And not get so caught up in emotion and talk. Because people talk. I talk. And I tell y'all, watch my footwork. I put up, watch that footwork videos to make sure y'all watching footwork. You know, action. What's he actually doing? What's his wife doing? Koya as much as she feels led, you know, she don't like being on live and on doing social media videos all the time. But I said, hey, let the women know what you're doing, you know. So she does her thing. Like today, I think she's doing the prayer call today with the women and stuff like that, you know. And people have seen us traveling. They've met us. They, not just me. They know her. They've met the kids. They've seen the kids, this, that, and the other. Man, there's some of these people out here, you don't know who the hell. You don't even know if they damn married. You don't know what's going on with them. You know, outside of they're doing these lessons. And what I'm saying is, so what I learned to watch is I listen to the lesson. I'm like, dude, that thing, that whole lesson this person just did ain't doing nothing for nobody. So what the heck is that? I'm like, that whole lesson is a waste. And I'm like, well, what's going on with them? Let's watch their footwork. Well, you can't see their footwork. They got their feet hid. So you don't know what they moving like. I just back off that. Because like Beloved Awid says, snake and lions don't move alike. There's a difference. One slivers, one walks. You see what I'm saying? One sneaks around, you know, the other doesn't. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. But yeah, that's one of the big revelations I've had is just watching, man, and observation and just taking it straight to the word and comparing it. You know what I'm saying? And because, you know, you begin to wonder why your situation isn't changing. And what it's a lot of Christianity is coming to this Hebraic awakening, and it's caused the Christianity that's coming to this Hebraic awakening creates passivity. It subtly manipulates you into passivity, and you look around and folks' whole lives are a mess. Their relationships, their this, their employment, their financial, their spiritual, a mess. And they've been with ministries for years. They've been in this truth for years, so called. But it said, ever learning and never and never. Let me read it. It says, but they shall. It said, ever learning and never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. So a lot of people, I know I'm a Hebrew, but you've been following ministries for years and your life is still a damn disaster in every way, spiritually, economically, financially, emotionally, you name it, relationship, marriage wise, whatever. People's lives are, your life, if you get with a ministry within a month, you should start seeing huge changes in all these areas in your life. That's what I'm saying. That's why I be so fired up. These are the points I'm making. This is why I'm posting footwork videos of like that video I posted where the guy was playing around in the store and watch that footwork. I'm telling people, learn to look at fruit and don't buy into all these clever words people are telling you, oh, you done made it, and subtly implying stuff what the Bible calls guile, speaking guile, when you got clever, manipulative speech, all that stuff. Dude, look at your damn life. If you follow the ministry and your life is still a damn mess, something's off. Like you follow spiritual combat, I'm challenging you. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your house in order. And then you got to get your life in order. And real talk, I'm not dealing with nobody who ain't rocking that way, moving that way. No problem. Because like I said, with the footwork, I could change up, boom, and be heading this way real time. But I ain't wasting time. I ain't got time to be, like I said, I'm doing the thing, and while I'm doing it, I'm speaking on it, and folks who don't like it, yo, go over there and get your ears tickled by by Reverend Candy Cane or Pastor Pastry. He gonna give you some of that feel good. So yeah, let me see here. What I'm gonna do, start. All right. So let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. So what time do we have here? All right. Let me. Y'all bear with me one sec. I'm trying to get something set up over here. All right. So if, oops, I clicked the wrong thing. If you want to call into the show and you want to add to the conversation, like I said, we have the Zoom call-in. All you gotta do is download the Zoom app on your phone, and you can It's real easy. You just download the app and put in this 9-digit number, and you're on the show. Okay, so you could come on the show and add any. I'm just putting the information, the number here, but you could call into the show and add any. You know I can't walk and chew bubble gum, so y'all bear with me. Zoom. All right, I'm just typing it up, you know. But you could call in right now. I'll put the information on there. And any question, comment, concern you have, you can put it out there. Anything you want to contribute to the conversation, or if you got any questions, you could come on it. Okay? So all you got to do is just download the Zoom app and use that number there that I put up on the screen. I think somebody... Okay. So, yeah. So, encourage, definitely call in there. It's totally free. If you want to call in and add any input, any question, comment, concern you have to the current conversation. All right. But anyway, so let's continue it on. Let me see. Y'all bear with me here. Let me get my scriptures here. All right. So, here we go. All right. So, yeah, and like I said, the show, one of the big things, and Koya can attest to, because we did that show. So, like I said, yeah, if you want to call in, if you want to add to the conversation, you have any questions, comments, concerns, we got that information right there. But yeah, so somebody, or you could type it right here in the comments. So somebody put, for this point forward, surrendering all things to Abba Yah, including the wife, place where we labor and our future, leaving nothing hidden from the Most High. Yeah, and that was the big thing with a lot of information that's been coming out, biblical information. There's a lot of elephants in the room that these ministries, they don't want to talk about it because, hey, there's a lot of people out there that just certain aspects of the Bible, they don't even want to consider because it's uncomfortable to think about. And it's going to what? It's going to hit that paper. So, like, one of the big revelations that we're seeing here is it's not the man's job to go back and forth and all right, I think somebody just came in. Y'all just hold on, let me see what happened. Yep, somebody's in there. So I'll wait for you to come all the way in. I see you still trying to get it set up, so I will let me put my headphones in too. I think it's 2 people in there. But yeah, so yeah, I'll wait for you to come all the way in. In the meantime, I need to put my headphones on so I can hear you. But one of the big revelations we had was that never gets taught or encouraged is that it's not the man's job to make a woman submissive to her husband. Okay? That is not the man's job to go back and forth and force her. Now, he needs to let her know that. He needs to show her that in the book. He needs to explain that. But if she chooses to not do it, make excuses. Okay, yeah, I'm going to bring in, hold on one second. Makes excuses to that. That's her responsibility. Okay, you're on. Go ahead.
Okay.
I hear you.
Can you hear me real good?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're clear. What you might need to do though is you might need to turn your TV or like whatever you're watching YouTube on, you need to turn that down and just listen
Okay.
to the
I
conversation
muted.
on
I
Zoom.
muted the YouTube.
All right. Did you turn it down?
Yeah, I muted it.
Okay. So now,
Okay.
yeah. So what was your question, comment, or concern?
Well, first, I want to thank you for taking my call and thank you for your service. And my comment, well, I guess I have a comment and a question.
Okay.
I was listening on the tail end yesterday, and I did attend the Great Awakening in Detroit. And ever since then, my first thing is, ever since then, I've been hearing, like, I don't really have a problem with some of the things that's been discussed. I can pretty much talk about anything. I love the Word of God and to study it.
Right.
But I've been only hearing the side of the men and not really the women. I've always believed that there's two sides to every story,
Mm-hmm.
and they say these women are out there, but I haven't really seen them or the videos of women coming out, you know, blaspheming men or whatever. And if anybody knows where those videos are, where I could go check them out, because I kind of like to be a mediator and kind of hear both sides, and then kind of come with the conclusion. Also, the second thing is, I am a single person and we just kind of get tossed off to the side. But I guess my question would be, could you elaborate on First Corinthians chapter 7, 6 through 8?
Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it.
You want me to?
All right. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Hold on. So,
Yeah.
hold on. I get it. Let's see. First Corinthians. Hold on. First Corinthians.
Yeah, chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
And verses
Chapter
6 through 8. And I understand historical context and all that kind of stuff plays a part. I like how it's worded in
So
the
it's First
NLT.
Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6. But I speak this
6
by
through 8.
chapter 6 through.
No, 7. Chapter 7, verses 6 through 8.
Okay, I'm reading it. So it says, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as myself, but every man have his proper gift of God in other manners. Okay, and so Paul, right there in verse 6, Paul said, okay, he said he speaks this by his own permission, not
Right,
according to Torah.
right, correct.
Okay, so right there, he's telling you this is him speaking. This is not Torah, the
Right,
perfect law, statute, commandment, the first 5 books. You understand what I'm saying? So right there,
Right.
he's telling you straight up. And then he said, but every man hath his proper gift of God. So now, whatever is going to be spoken in in verse 8 is, you see what I'm saying? It's not any type of commandment. It's just his recommendation. Right. Okay?
Right. I understand it's kind of him giving his opinion, but he's kind of saying that he wishes everybody was single. But,
But
and I'm
that,
not saying I wish that either.
and
I don't have anything against marriage or anything.
okay, and real fast, the reason he's saying that is when you understand on a spiritual level, is so that they could have an even closer relationship with the Most High Yah. But
Right.
if everybody remains single, we wouldn't be fruitful and multiply.
Oh, I know.
So yeah.
I understand.
So now what you were saying earlier is what we were talking about is the fact that majority's ministries out here, I've heard a lot of teachings on where it says, well, number one, a lot of them don't cover the scripture where it says that the woman should be submitted unto her man as unto the Lord and give that obedience. And most of these women will say, well, he needs to this or he needs to that. Well, the significance of my experience when I went out to Straightway and was around those women, and the significance of the interview that Pastor Dow did with Dr. Gina, the significance of all that was I saw a woman and women who were willfully submitted to their men in all things. They weren't loudmouth. They weren't out of order. And their minds were very peaceful. In order to get to this level, that takes a lot of spiritual growth and work. And the significant thing was that I really had not experienced women on that level of spiritual development before. Now, if you want to, real fast, if you want an example of what I'm more used to experiencing, it'd be this email that I had up earlier where the woman told me to go F myself and call my wife a pagan or I'm married. And so this is more the type of woman I'm used to seeing among our people are these rebellious, uncontrolled, impulsive, emotional women.
Okay. Well, that wasn't right of her to do that.
But that, unfortunately, that's more the norm out there.
Okay, yeah, I was just kind of wanting to hear some of these ones because I see the men comment about their wives and stuff, but I would like, it would be nice if they invite their wives on with them.
Sister Koya was on the show last night.
Yeah, I saw that. I like that.
Right. Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. The rebellious, manipulative women, you ain't got and the men who have wives that are like that. These women, they subtle. They operate behind the scenes. You ain't that and that's why I said, you have to watch a lot of these ministries and see, hey, who's he married to? What's her behavior? Because that's going to let you know what's really going on. But a lot of people out there, you don't know what's going on outside their little video they do. So that's why I say you got to watch people's footwork. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm. So, but my last comment would be still, where's the single woman at in this?
Okay, so
I mean, I know we're supposed to submit to Yah and stuff, but
okay, so good question. So last night, and like I said, we're gonna have some other shows that's gonna go into this more, but a good show to watch would be Community Building Part 3, a show I did not too long ago with Elder Mitchell. We covered this a little bit, but I'm gonna cover it now. When we begin to get into community building, and a better way of calling it, I would say, would be Torah living. And when you actually study the instruction and carry it out, you see that the Most High has made provision for every situation. He's made provision for the handicapped, for the elderly, for the single woman, and all that. Okay? When I went out to, this is what I told people, when I went out to Straightway, there were women out there who stayed on the land in a singles housing place. There were 2 sisters staying over there. There's a building that Pastor Dow had made that they had built out there, and it was for single sisters. And the sisters come out, they went out, fellowship with the community each Shabbat, and showed themselves to be of high moral character, and they invited them to come out and live on the land. So let's say, for instance, I don't know where you live. Let's say you live in New York. Well, there's a Straightway New York congregation out there. You could go out there and begin to fellowship with them. And eventually, if you show yourself to be a righteous sister, you can move out onto their, like when they decide to take it to the next level, you can move out there with them. And if you so desire, eventually you could be linked up with a righteous brother. It's not very complicated. So yeah, did that kind of answer it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, kinda. I guess it's just when I hear them say that, about the submissive part and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, if a woman's single, Yah is who she's submissive to. But they sometimes they make it sound like if a stranger was to come up to me, that I'm supposed to submit to him
No,
because he's
no,
a
no,
male.
no, no. What and it's covering. So let me get into that because you asking some awesome questions. So a lot of these people who teach the word, a lot of these brews out there, because they're not doing anything, because all they're doing is they got a ministry and they trying to manipulate people and keep them up under them. They really don't get what submission and that whole hierarchy thing is. A better way I would put it is, for instance, Koya. Koya, she's watching me. She sees my footwork and the way part of the way our relationship is now. I love her, and they call me Captain Caveman, but I could be romantic. I think I'm kind of romantic. I think like going on a date to Burger King is pretty romantic. I'm just playing. I'm just playing around. but no, look. But understand this: Koya also rests secure in me because she knows I train her and the girls on self-defense on how to use guns. We're under a hurricane warning right now. We got a hurricane approaching. I'm making plans and arrangements to keep up this family to cover her and keep her safe during this hurricane. If we have to evacuate, you could trust I'm gonna be armed to the teeth. I'm gonna be Black Rambo going up the highway, and she's gonna rest assured in that protection and that covering. She's not gonna have to make decisions on where are we gonna evacuate to. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
when we begin to talk about covering, it's not like some of these dudes, kneel before Zod, I am your covering.
Right.
Lick my boot and all this stuff like that. No, I'm covering all the. She know I take very serious protecting this family. Like I was training Koya and the girls up on how to load magazines efficiently and gun usage and all this. Anything I could do to keep this family protected. Spiritually, I be on her. I'm very demanding. Now, I'm not like abusive with it, but I'm demanding that they don't question certain things that I'm telling them. Because in an emergency situation, she needs to listen to what I say and it can't be questioned. When we're out there on the range training on guns, this ain't the time for you to be questioning me. So there's certain situations. So all this is covering. This is book. Now,
okay. Yeah, that helps.
Now with a lot of these, so let's take you for instance. Let's hypothetically say you went out the straightway or whatever, and you went out the straightway Tennessee, passed out, say, hey, come on out, you stay in the singles women thing out here. He gonna cover you. He gonna make sure you're protected. He's gonna train you up. All the women out there trained on the range to shoot. They carry weapons around. They're covered. They're protected. You right now are not. Well, I can't say that because I don't know your situation. But most women are not covered and protected. There's women here in Florida who are out there in Tampa or wherever this hurricane might hit. They just single. They're under some ministry, but they ain't covered. They don't know what the hell they're gonna do if the electrical power go out. They don't know how to operate a gun. They ain't got no man to give them instruction on, hey, come over here. You could come stay over here. Like Elder Mitchell, I got the perfect example. Elder Mitchell, when they were in Houston and the electrical power went out for a week, there were 2 single sisters who lived down the street. Well, they covered them. They took a boat, went down there, got them sisters, said, get in the boat, y'all gonna come stay with us. They got them. They came over to their house. Now, these sisters was in the truth. They let them stay upstairs with the rest of the families, and 2 men were downstairs guarding the house at all times. People were out there raping women, stealing food, doing all types of stuff, but they had guns, weapons. The house was protected. There was order, and the women were covered and protected. And this is what we're saying. This is why we're telling the women, you need to learn, you submit to your man or a man or a ministry or something, but not one of these ministries that they say, yeah, submit to me and give me half your check, but one that's literally actually going to do something. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. What you said, you did a good job of explaining that and stuff. And I'm not covered. I'm in Indiana, the very bottom of the thing of Indiana, and there's nothing close by. Everything is like 4 or more hours away.
Well, and the thing is, you like I have done I've done extensive research in Straightway, and I'm really impressed with what I've seen. I ain't seen a deficiency yet. You know what I'm saying? And I have no problem recommending people, hey, go check them out. And there's a Straightway in your area. Elder Rufus, you in there? Elder Rufus, if you could you put the dining hall number in? I'm gonna give you a number you can call, and you can call them, and they'll tell you if there's like a Straightway in your area or whatever.
I think there's trying to start one in Kokomo. I talked to that brother Daniel in Kokomo, but he kind of sounded like theirs isn't like complete. Like maybe they're still in the beginning stages.
That's fine. See what I'm. See, okay. And man, this is why I like this, because the questions you're asking are so on point. So look, what the Bible is telling us, what people are telling us, oh, you just got a fellowship. So what I try to do is, if I got to use those words like that, I try to clarify. People are telling you, oh, you got a fellowship. So your mind naturally clicks over to Christianity, like, okay, go there, oh, and yell and act like a nut, and then go home. What the book is telling you, and why I'm so impressed with Straightway, and what we're doing here in Jacksonville, Florida, is we're coming together on the weekend to fellowship. But when I say that, I mean we're coming to build a literal family that we can count on and be accountable to. And if anything happens, if your car breaks down, I can send 2 brothers out there. Or if you hear somebody walking around your house, I could call 2 brothers and have them out there quick with guns on patrol, seeing what the hell's going on. That's what I'm talking about. What these Christian Hebrews is talking about is taking your damn money and manipulating you. You see what I'm saying?
But I totally agree.
And that's why I like what Straightway's doing, because they are a literal family. When I went up to Detroit, the brother treated me like a brother. He came, he picked me up, he let me stay in his house, he fed me, he gave me a ride to the event. I didn't have to get a taxi, I didn't have to get a hotel, I didn't have to go to McNasty's and get some poison. Yeah. They did actual brotherhood. And Elder Rufus said, you have to make yourself available outside the Shabbat. He's right. This is a lifestyle. Like, and this is when when we do our Shabbat here today, I'm going to let people know this. I'm going to drive this in. Look, we are building a family here. Like, you got to be committed to this thing, just like, because what you find, a lot of Hebrews be calling, what up, what up this, what up that, but they more dedicated to their sinning, wicked blood family than they are the so-called congregation, mishpachah, family, and all that. Go ahead.
Can I ask something else too?
Yes.
Okay. like another woman I heard mention yesterday, one of the things we don't talk about is like every person it has a unique particular situation.
Yep.
Like I'm just going to give my own,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
I've been trying to get out of debt and I've got 2 more years left on my chapter 13, and then after that I'll be done, but I'll still have
What's
my
a chapter
college
13?
loans.
What's a chapter 13? I don't know what that is.
Well, bankruptcy. It means
Oh,
I'm
okay,
still
okay, okay.
paying my stuff, but huh?
Okay, I understand. Go ahead.
And so but I got 2 more years, but then I still got my school loans, and my mother lives with me, and she's not going to just up and go anywhere. She has to stay here to take care of another sister who had a stroke. Make sure she gets stuff to eat. She's not going to just up and move, as well. I make pretty decent at my job. And so I'm not saying that I'm not willing to move. I can't right now. I still got a couple of years, to get majority of my debt out of the way. And I'm not saying that I'm against moving. It's just if somebody can come in and kind of evaluate different situations and tell people like, okay, if that's your situation, then you need to do data, this and that,
Right.
kind of in order.
Hmm.
But meanwhile, yeah, I understand. I still would
So
like
let
to
me ask
fellowship
you. Let
with a
me.
congregation that's close nearby, so I
Okay.
could get to know them and they
Right.
can get to know me.
So let me ask you a couple questions. Real. Is your mother in the truth?
Oh yeah, my father was a pastor. His father was a pastor, and I had uncles who were pastors.
Okay.
We grew up in the church and all of that. So yes, my mother is definitely well, when you say the truth, you talking about like knowing who we are as far as the Hebrews, that type of stuff.
Yes.
Well, no, I would say no. She hasn't. I'm kind of working on sharing some of that with my family here soon, but I mean, she knows God. Trust me, she knows God. But no, she's not into, or she doesn't know about that type of stuff to the extent that we do.
Okay. So All right. Wait. Hold on. Okay. So what I would I was trying to find this scripture that Elder wanted me to read. What I would it number one says work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Okay. Now again, what I would say, I wouldn't get so caught up in, oh, I'm not just gonna up and move, but what I would say is, again, you need to go and fellowship with like-minded believers. And when I say fellowship, I say build with a like-minded family. Okay.
Right.
And like I said, I hit on some of the reasons. They adjust to the ministry, not them. Yeah. And like I said, truth be told, like your mother, if they don't, I mean, you can't let somebody's lack of belief make it so that you don't come into the truth. Or because each person has to work out their own salvation.
True. True.
So it's like, look, because the way Straightway does it, you got people with thousands of dollars of debt getting it paid off in months and saving up $60,000 to buy land and $100,000 to buy land. By what? Moving up under one roof with like-minded people and, growing and doing it. So if somebody's going to sit there and be a hindrance to that, you see what I'm saying? Who are you going to serve? Are you going to serve them and their needs? Or are you going to do thus saith the most?
Well, see, the Bible also says, we are to honor our parents and stuff, and we would have a long life. I can't just leave her in the street and tell her do the best she can. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
My other sister can't take her in. There's no room. I can't just be a heartless person and say, well, I'm trying to work out my salvation. So you can stand on this corner and hold up a sign and ask for money. You know, I
Well,
can't.
yeah, and again, but what I'm saying is, so your option is you could sit there in debt and kind of, you know, because she doesn't agree with what you're doing and continue down that path, or you could explain to her, hey, this is what's going on and I need you got to be on board with this. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah, I mean, she's in her 80s and stuff, and like I said, she's kind of at a stage where she's not gonna really understand a lot of that. And I haven't talked to her about it
right.
actually. Like, I haven't reached out to any of my family about this just yet.
But like there's a saying that, you know, and I'm not saying you just coldly kick somebody out and put them on the curb,
Right.
but on the same note, you don't have to light yourself on fire to keep somebody warm. You understand what I'm saying? There's a verse in let me see, because like I said, you could watch that Kabir interview. He lost his 8 kids and his wife and a ton of money coming into this truth because she just wasn't gonna do it. But you know,
oh yeah, I understand that.
But
don't get me wrong.
But the book says he came to divide. He came to turn mother against daughter.
Right.
This ain't a game.
Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna let anybody let me miss that bus. You know, because I mean, I have it a lot easier because people have always thought I was, crazy or the weird one of the family anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, that doesn't bother me. I'm still going to tell them the truth, whether they want to hear it or not. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not going to let anybody hold me back. I'm just saying I have like a couple of years to really knock the debt out of the way. And if I get up and move, I may not find something right away, a job. Making what I do right now, but no, I'm not gonna let anybody let me.
Again, that's why you really need to get in contact with the congregation there near you, and then you will see how they got. I don't want to sit there like, oh, they got it all figured out, but they damn near do, according to the book. They can back up how they're moving with the book. And people are like, well, why does everybody keep talking about straightways? Because they are literally doing what the book say, and it line up with the book, and they're putting it into action. They're not just there doing a bunch of teaching. So all these questions that you have, they got biblical answers for it. So and it's not going to be this burdensome thing. The Most High, in His brilliance, has made provision for every life situation.
Yes, He did.
Brother, I'm going to bring you in, Zedekiah.
Oh, okay. You can let somebody else
come in. And one last thing, sis. Elder Rufus said their oldest saint on their community, she's 94 now, and she came into the truth at 86. So all you praying, fasting, seeking the Lord, you know what I'm saying? It'll be good.
Okay.
Let me give you that number real quick. You got something to write this down?
I do.
Okay. So the number is 615-688-3025. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks again for your time.
Okay. Hey, Zedekiah, you come on in, man. You could come in. Go ahead and talk. Well, you hit something on your phone now. You can't talk. You done muted yourself or something. You pulled your audio off. You probably on the phone. But yeah, that's it's funny, man, because like before I really started looking into Straightway, I noticed all these people were saying all this stuff. So I looked in, I didn't listen to whatever, I didn't go by what everybody said. I considered all the negative stuff that was being said about Pass It Down Straightway. I considered it, but I was like, I didn't meet him yet. So I met him, and I was like, huh. I was like, all right. Hey, Shalom, man.
I considered it.
Hey, Zedekiah, mute that. Mute your YouTube so you can hear me.
All right, I'll mute it. I'll mute it.
Okay.
Come on, man. I considered it. Hey, Zedekiah, mute that. Mute your YouTube so you can hear me.
There you go.
Okay, is that better?
That's good. What's going on?
What's going on? Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yes, sir.
What you been up to?
Blessed, man. I really wanted to chime in on what the sister was talking about a while ago, and it was really towards the end of what she was saying about her mother and father, her parents that are, pastors and whatnot. And you got your scriptures in front of you, and I have it in front of me, and that is 2 John.
All right.
Because me and Brother Greg down in Houston were just talking about this.
Okay.
Last week. If you go to 2 John and you go to
the second,
because it's only one chapter, verses 6 through 8. Because my wife and I, Maya Shai and I, we just discussed this because she just had a real big blowout with her parents because they just don't understand this walk. And when they don't understand this walk, yes, we're supposed to honor our father and our mother. But at the same time, when you really read the scriptures, it breaks down a whole lot more in regards to how you deal with your family members. You got it in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2 John verses 6 says, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it. For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. Look to yourselves that we lose not those things which we have wrought, but that we receive a full reward. Okay, now, you know what? My bad, Brother Michael. Let me go ahead. It's right after that about abiding in the doctrine of Christ.
Okay.
That's verses 9.
Okay.
Okay. Whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Christ have not God. Okay. So right there, that you're already establishing that whoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Christ hath not God. Okay. It also says that he that abideth in the doctrine, that's us,
right,
of Christ, he hath both the Father and the Son. Okay. Now verse 10 says, if there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house. Wait a minute. Into your house. Neither bid him Yahspeed or Godspeed. Okay. Now verse 11 says that for he that bideth him Godspeed is a partaker of his evil deeds. Okay. So what we have established is that if any of them, if any come into you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not. So if my parents, like my mother, for instance, when I bring this truth up to her, and I've been in this walk for over 4 years now, and she diverts, boy, she gets on a whole nother subject. But by golly, tomorrow, first day Sun God Sunday worship, she gonna be at church. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't need to be partakers with them. So that means that if you're not walking uprightly on what I'm trying to convey to you about this walk, then I can't even greet you Yahspeed. In the Christianity would say Godspeed, but we're going to say Yahspeed. All right, for the sake of argument. But at the same time, I'm like, well, wait a minute now. I can't even allow you really in my home because I don't need your curses in my house, and I don't need your evil deeds, like the word says right here, to rub off on me or my children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not in agreement with what. So let's take my honorable shepherd, Pastor Dow. Mm-hmm. He can tell you right now, and I believe he's probably already shared this with you since you have been amongst him and the saints at Straightway. Mm-hmm. He couldn't tell you an address of any of his sisters and brothers where they live. Mm-hmm. You know, because of the simple fact, come out from among them and be separate. That's not just going into community and leaving out of the city, but that's also, look, brother, sister, family, mother, father. We don't serve the same Elohim. We don't serve the same God. You know, tomorrow on first day, I am going to put out a video about my experience in a funeral that I just recently went to, because I hadn't been to a funeral since being in the truth until just here recently, last 6th day, last Friday. Uh-huh. My grandmother's funeral of 91 years of age, and she just passed. Mm-hmm. And brother, I'm gonna tell you right now, just like Yeshua said, let the dead bury the dead. Ooh. I sat in those pews, and when I got there, I'm gonna tell you, brother Israel, I got there at 10:55. And I pulled up and I strategically parked my vehicle down towards the end from the church, and the funeral started at 11 o'clock. I pulled up at 10:55 in Oklahoma from out of Dallas. It was a 2.5 hour drive, and walked up, kind of was just in the zone. Like, I spoke to a couple of people, but I had brothers and sisters there. Didn't say a word to them. Wow. Even carried my grandmother's, because I talked to Elder Rufus, and I asked him real quick, probably about 2 or 3 days prior, and I asked him, is it okay? Is it that, you know, I haven't been to a funeral since I've been in the walk, in the truth. So am I okay to actually, you know, there's not like it's a tradition, but anybody that's been in our family, the grave site is next to the church down in the country where we grew up at. And I asked him, I said, usually, you know, because my auntie put me down as a pallbearer. And I asked him, I said, is it okay for me to be able to walk with the others and carry my grandmother's body down to the gravesite? And he said that, you know, that's your call. It's okay. I was like, all right. So the thing is, we carried her body, but I didn't speak to them. Wow. And here's the crazy thing, brother Israel. When I sit down in the pew, because my daughter that's 21, she lives 2.5 hours away from in Oklahoma City. So I sat. Here's the crazy thing, because this is basically a testimony. Mm-hmm. I sat with her in the pew, and she sat to the left side of me. On the other side, this is the not even hypocrisy. This is just, you know, Christianity is strong delusion. Okay, it's a hell of a drug. Okay. Mm-hmm. So my daughter, that's 21, that's not in the walk, but she sat to the left of me. On the other side of her was my so-called auntie. That's a ordained minister. You know,
Oh,
so
Lord.
I'm sitting there like, you already see the post that I put on Facebook. So, you know, I've already commented on her being a minister, but she knows not to go there because, see, that's what I've learned about Christians is that they don't have a leg to stand on when you throw them scripts at them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like our pastor says all the time, the greatest cure for Christianity is read the Bible. Okay?
Right.
You Negroes don't read the Bible. Plain and simple. You know, it's just a brainwash.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's the grunt of it all. Hasatan loves to make a mockery out of Yah. Okay, but he won't be mocked. He tries. He makes that attempt.
Mm-hmm.
But he tried to play with me because I'm sitting here in this pew right next to my daughter while the funeral is going on. About 30 minutes into it, nobody was sitting to the right of me. Nobody. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes my jickhead lesbian about to be married to another lesbian niece that's dressed up as a boy with her nasty so-called bride that looked like she just came from the club. And they sit down beside me. And I'm looking and I'm like, man, I said, devil, you a lie. Okay. I said, boy, I'm in the den of wolves right now. You know, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, because what does the word says? 2 out of a family and 1 out of a city.
Mm.
So I know that I'm that only one in my family. So I'm looking. So when my daughter saw that they were getting ready to sit next to me, she taps me on my leg, Brother Israel, and says, don't start. And I sit there and I said, you know, me and Brother Greg talked about this week. He said, see, even your daughter, she knows you in this walk, but she's going to tap your leg talking about don't start. Because, you know, when they sit down, I was just like, you know, I'm sitting here listening to this lying-ass preacher up there in the pulpit, you know, fleecing the flock and giving them a feel-good, you know, because everybody in the black church at a black funeral, what do? They all go to heaven.
Preach that wicked butts into heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, y'all go to heaven. Okay. And the sad thing is before I came into this walk, my father, April of 2015, he passed away and I spoke over his body. And I wasn't in the walk then. But even in brainwashed Christianity, I even saw myself trying to push his ass in there into heaven when I was over because that's how brainwashed everybody was that was sitting there at the funeral and listening to me speak over him. They were like, oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful speech, you know? And I'm like, and then when I came into the walk 4 months later in September of 2015, I sit there and I look back and I'm going, he didn't make it. I'm just going to keep it real. You know, I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in, but I'm not going to be the judge, jury, or executioner to put anybody in a heaven or hell. But I can tell you right now, if the death angel comes and you ain't got your work done, then I'm sorry you didn't make it.
Right.
You know, the Most High came at not the Most High, but the death angel basically came at a time when your work was undone. Okay.
Yeah.
You might speak this, but there comes a time where the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
You won't I got the spirit, but do you have the truth?
Right.
Well, I got the truth, but do you have the spirit? Okay. You're just a hearer of his word, but are you really truly a doer?
Right.
You know, watch, like you say, watch the footprint.
Watch that footwork, baby.
Yeah, watch that footwork.
So all that said, though, it sounds like you realize you should have just not gone there.
I showed my respects. I'm gonna put it to you like that, brother. I showed my respects. And what I mean by I showed my respect, as soon as, because they probably prayed, Brother Israel, they probably prayed 5 or 6 times up in there. Okay. But I kept my head up because me and Brother Greg had already had this conversation. Kept my head up because if I had bowed my head while they were praying, then guess what? Just like 2 John says, then I'm in agreement with their prayer. Right. I'm not in agreement with your prayers. No. At the gravesite, I stood around, but I kept my head up high. I just looked away and my eyes wide open, because if I had bowed my head, that means that I was in agreement with those Job's prayers. Okay? I'm not in agreement with your prayers. Right. Okay? I didn't sit there and say amen to you all, because I don't get into saying amen anyway, So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, no, I got to keep my head up. I got to let my light shine, because I don't sometimes have to always speak this truth, let my truth just show by my lifestyle and the way I walk. And so as soon as they prayed over her, I walked with my daughter back up to the dining hall. You ain't going to eat, baby? That's what some of the sisters there. I said, maybe later. No, not right now. Actually, it just came off of a 4-day fast. Anyways, at the same time, my daughter walked me through the dining hall, and I gave her a hug, and I said, I don't stay, sweetheart. I'm in and out. I showed my respects to my grandmother. Yeah. And
you ain't getting caught up in no sloppiness.
Right. Yeah, because me, I'm just being delivered from a lot of things, so I'm like, I got a brother who puts his mouth on me constantly all the time. So I'm like, he's overdue for an ass whooping, so I had to go ahead and I broke up out of there by 12:55 at 1:00. So from 11 to 1,
11 hours. Okay. So 11. Okay.
So from 11 to 1, I was there at the funeral, called my wife, said, baby, I'm headed back to Texas. Okay. Right. She was like, that was fast. I was like, I told you I wasn't staying. I said, so at the same time, I think back. And so basically what the sister was talking about, she's working on, reaching out and talking to her mother and father about this truth. I'm like, either they grasp it or they don't grasp it.
Right.
Depending on how long she's been in this walk, I don't know the sister, but here's the thing. Once you present this to them, like Pastor says all the time, if they don't receive you and they don't have ears to hear or eyes to see, the Most High ain't dealing with you. Okay.
Right.
Dealing with you right now. And if he's gonna come, if they don't see this walk through you, and they may receive it a year from now, you better hope that, here's the thing, just like my grandmother that's in the grave right now and my father, you better hope that before their life is taken out of their body, that they have received this truth, and that they have became not just a hearer, but a doer of his word.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
That's what people don't understand is hearing and doing are two different things. Right. And that was me in the Christian church. I heard, but I'm like,
and the thing is, and it's almost 10 o'clock, so I'm getting ready to wrap the show up. But the thing is even in that was part of this message today, is even in the Hebrew community, there's a lot of Christian Hebrews. All they did is put a Hebrew stamp as Christianity, with the fact that, hey, we know we Hebrew, but it's still no action. And that's what I'm trying to draw attention to. But
because that's being lukewarm right there. That's being
lukewarm. But Brother Zedekiah, I appreciate you coming on. I need to get the information out for the Men of Warfare prayer call. Koya, if you could real fast, let me know if the women are doing their prayer call. If they are, I got the information here. But while I'm waiting for her to come let me know that. She just come to the door and let me know. While I'm waiting for her to let me know that, this is the Spiritual Combat Oh, next Shabbat. Okay, so the women's prayer call will be next Shabbat. So this is the men's prayer call and fellowship. That's the dial-in number right there that you see. Most of the time, okay. So yeah, so most of the time it should be, the line should be up. Most of the time the brothers go in there, get the line up. We got another 5 minutes or so, but that's the men's prayer call right there. Immediately following this broadcast, I even go in there and we pray. We also afterwards do a little fellowshipping. I'm actually doing a Shabbat down here, community building, community focus Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? So we're excited about that. We got brothers coming from all over the place, so that's going to be good. But anyway, yeah, that's the information for the prayer call right there. Like I said, that will start at 10. Let me go on here and see if y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. All right. Somebody put John 6:44. No man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him. So yeah, and I will raise him up at the last day. So yeah, the thing is, man, you know, it can be tough out there dealing with family and seeing that thing with and the deception of our people and how far gone they are. You know what I'm saying? And like when you get deep into this, into the biblical understanding of this truth, and you begin to see that it's not only some feel good, you know, emotional thing, but you begin to realize it's a spiritual thing. It's a psychological thing in this book. It's a cultural thing. It's a relationship thing with your husband and wife. It's an economic thing. It's a financial thing. Like when you see the ramifications of what truly walking in this book is, and then you go back and you see the crap they're teaching in Christianity and even in the Hebraic community, it's like, man, you realize that junk is organized oppression that's being taught out there, man. That thing is heavy. Yeah, so yeah, man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. But like I said, man, press forward. You know, we gotta press forward and stay focused, stay getting understanding, stay growing. It's a constant growth. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we gotta work out our salvation with fear and trembling. But yeah, that's what it is, man. But anyway, with that said, y'all men get on the prayer call. Sister Koya, like she said, next week it will be the women's prayer call. And I hope y'all enjoyed this Shabbat lesson. It'll be a better lesson next week because I really didn't have anything concrete. I'm gonna be live streaming our Shabbat here in Jacksonville later on today, so definitely tune in for that. It's gonna be a lesson on, like, if you really don't understand community or why there's such talk about community, which I'm gonna begin not to even call it community. I'm gonna begin to call it Torah living. But yeah, anyway. If you don't understand Torah living, Torah culture, Torah life, tune into the Shabbat lesson I'm going to do here in Jacksonville. It's going to be good. It'll be good. And so anyway, with that said, I'm going to take it out. with the song from PZ and his wife, Wake Up Jacob. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. Shalom.
Somebody gotta wake them up and give them that light. Somebody gotta shake them up and make them go right. Play it to the left, cause they dying for nothing. They dying over colors, but they dying for Christ. That's the simplest question I can think of. Yeah, the chosen seed, hype, but now it's time to wake up.
The Father been calling me.